So what is the command to execute the project?
ng serve open.
Vinay, unmute చేయండి. Sorry.
Hello.
Are you able to talk, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. కొత్తగా అనిపించింది. Hi, Rajni.
Hello, so good evening. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
everyone.
Okay. Now you see you got the login form. Yesterday we discussed, right? We created a login form and all those things. Everybody say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now the point here is I want to, if there was no data, I want to make this red color. So how I'm going to do this? I'm not going to use a concept called ng class. I'm going to use a concept called ng style. Before making an ng style, first I need to bind the data. For that, I'm declaring a variable. What I'm doing, I'm declaring two variables. And then em colon string equal to declare two variables. Right? Do I need to bind this variable to my text box? What I need to do? Can anyone tell me?
ng model.
Implement. Before you have to go and bind this variable with the help of ng model, you need to see whether the module is registered, imported with forms module or not. Forms module is imported?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Because ng model comes from forms module. Okay, if the ng model was, forms module was not registered, your ng module will not work. You see here, export the required provider and directive for template driven forms, making them available by importing ng module. I got my point. So to make this ng model works, you have to go for forms module. And then in the HTML here, the next line, you say like this, ng model, which has nm property. Understand? Say sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And then you have to use ng model equal to em variable. Got the point? Now in the submit button, how do I conform with that is, I create a conform submit button. On submit, a method void which required console dot
No.
log this dot nm. Clear? Say sir.
Yes.
Console dot log this dot em. Right? Now go back, take the on submit, go to the button here. You need to have an event. What is your event?
Click.
On submit.
As a function. Now right click, inspect element, go to console, click submit, nothing is there. If I click, you got the data? Say sir.
Yes.
Whenever you enter the data, the variable are holding. I said here Narendra, here narendra@gmail.com. Then click submit. You got the narendra@gmail.com. Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Everybody. Say yes or no. Please say yes or no. This is what adding
Yes,
time.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is the next step we need to do? What is the next step you need to do? Tell me. Come on, guys.
I
You know,
mean, like once submit, like then next, it should be
whenever
direct to
there
next
was
page.
no data, it should be in red color. When there is a data, it should be in green color. Understand my point?
Hmm.
Whenever I have to submit, whenever I enter N, it should be in green color. If there was no value, it should be in
Red color.
red color. For that, I'm going to use a small change. How I'm going to do is go here.
ng style.
I'm going to use an attribute called ng style equal to, what is the code you need to write? Can anyone tell me what is the code we need to write?
Style background color.
Background, some
First, you need to use like this. Back hyphen, no, background hyphen color. Bag hyphen color. Okay, and then say nm is not equal red. Here you say green. Okay. If the nm doesn't have value, you need to make it as red color. Otherwise, you have to make green color. Now you see like this, you have to put. Okay. Now if you go here, you see it is in green color. The moment I add n, it is red color. Actually, it is a reverse. Green. This should be red. Dynamic. Now if you go, right now it is expecting a data. Say sir.
Yes.
Everyone. Vinay,
Yes.
Arjit, Sachin,
Yes.
everybody.
Yeah.
The
Yes, sir.
moment you enter N, A, what color it is taking?
Green.
Green color. Okay. So make it as light green so that it will be, people can easily understand. Now, okay.
Hmm.
Same way, you have to put a ng style here. Where? Here. Now, what happened? Both are red color.
EM.
Okay. You got it?
Hmm.
You got it, everybody? But sir, I want to have an event for this. I want to have an event for this to make sure this data should call a function. Because whenever I enter data, this email has two things. What are all those things? Mandatorily. @ and dot, right?
Yes.
So we need to associate a method in this, right? Say, sir, we need to associate a method or not?
Yes. For validation purpose.
For the validation purpose, you need to associate a method. So how you are going to associate that method? Can anyone tell me?
On text, on mouse over.
No. First, you need to write a TypeScript. How you are going to write the TypeScript? You need to
On
make a function of TypeScript, right?
Yes.
Check, validate, email. Here you need to pass EM.
Hmm.
Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Why you need to pass the EM?
The value will come from the HTML to TS file.
Okay.
Then we can validate from here.
Okay. Can you tell me how to do that? Because already the variable is holding that value. You no need to pass this. You can write here saying that if EM dot contains, I say
At.
contains, why it is not working? Why contains is not working? Contain. Yeah, sorry. You have to use includes. And this dot, EM dot includes. I have to use dot. These two are mandatory or not? Say sir.
Yes.
These two are mandatory. Everybody.
Yes.
If you are not having the data, what will happen?
It won't allow user to enter the data.
Come again.
It won't take the data.
It won't get the data. Or you got my point? So how to validate this EM? Here, you need to pass message colon string. Okay.
Hmm.
Take this variable, Control C, paste, paste. Don't need to use this. Okay. Here, in the validate message, validate email, you copy, go here. You need to write a one more event.
On text
event
change.
name is, the event name is input equal to validate message saying EM. Clear my point?
Yes.
So what will happen? This EM will pass every time when you click a method there, you will write a function, a Boolean variable is email valid colon Boolean equal to false.
False.
Or you got my point? If
Hmm.
it matches, what you are going to do here?
Return true.
This dot validate email equal to true. Right?
Hmm.
Now, okay. Is email equal to true? Is email valid equal to true? Okay.
Hmm.
Now take this is email. Instead of EM, I'm going to pass here. If it is true, light green. If it is false, red. Understand?
Hmm.
You are see, whenever user enters an input, your method will be calling. What is the method is doing? Method is saying if the message, the variable containing value contains at and dot, it is making email valid. Now, if you go and see here, Nare at not working, Gmail dot working.
Okay.
Hmm.
See, if you remove dot, what will happen? Then you need to have one more here saying else this dot is email valid equal to false. Understand?
Hmm.
I'm putting Narendra here. Here I'm putting leads itask @gmail dot. It is making green.
Yes.
Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
.com. If at all I am removing this dot, what is happening?
Again becomes red.
Again it comes red.
Right.
But sir,
Now you all understand what is the purpose of ng style we can use in the Angular?
NG, what is it? NG style, right?
Come again?
Like what term you have used? NG style, correct?
I don't understand.
No, like what you said at the end actually.
Who's that?
Sachin, Sachin this side.
Yeah. Tell me.
No, I was asking like what you said at the end. Like I think your voice breaks for me.
No, what I'm saying, do you all understand what is ng style?
Yes.
Mhm.
What is the purpose of ng style we are using?
Yes. Basically, we are trying to get the appearance dynamically with the help of NG style attribute.
You all understand, right?
Yeah.
sir, I
Now,
have,
you see the login form is beautifully we designed.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Say, sir,
Yes.
Yes.
that's
sir, I
all.
have a question.
Yama. Yama, please tell.
Remove this email. Put Narendra dot 123
It will work.
at the rate.
It won't
Just
work.
at the rate. It will work.
Okay,
But
that logic you can build, man. If you are
yeah,
exactly what the way you want, you build the logic of email. If you are asking me to do that also, then it is very difficult. I'm just telling there is a dot and @, it's mandated to become a Gmail. All right?
yeah. And sir, another question. Go to the HTML page.
Hmm.
Just I want to clear this thing. Suppose
Okay.
here the input. This is not clear to me because you set a label and input type, and you have used the ng model and ng style. So why the name label for and name is required? Because we are validating based on the variable value in the ng style attribute.
Yes.
But why it is required? A name equal to email.
See, ng model purpose is it has to hold two-way binding, right?
Yes.
And then whenever user enters a data, that should be validated by a method, whether it is a valid email or not, right?
Mm,
So this ng validate email will send a flag saying that whether it is true or false, right?
mm,
If you are using a ng style, if it is true, it become light green. If it is false, it become right, based
mm,
on the validate email method.
mm.
Understand?
No. I'm not asking this question. My question is the first line. Input type takes the name equal to email. Why it is required?
Association between the label and name.
So why it is required? We are validating the text box only, not label. So why the association is required here?
When I click email, it will go and highlight automatically here. Oh, you are talking. Try to remove this and see.
Yeah. Yes.
Some error. Can you read this?
Within a form tag, either the name attribute must be set for the form. Control must be defined as standalone in model options.
I'll tell you.
Oh, actually, form tag is required.
All right. If you are using a form tag, you need to have a name and for
Oh,
associating. Okay. If you are not having a form tag, that is not a problem.
okay. Oh, that's why we are using this thing.
Yes. Yesterday we discussed this. Yesterday we faced the same situation. Do you remember? Function is not working because we have to use the name and for, right? Arjit, Sachin, you are there, I believe. Rajini,
Yes,
you are
yes.
there, I believe.
Yeah, you mentioned that, but at the
Yes,
end
sir.
of the session, I asked you, I have one question. That was my question.
Now you understand? See, when you're using a form tag, when you're associating controls within a single div, you need to map each other.
Okay.
Clear?
And sir, what is that this input you use, right? What is that
Yes.
input here?
This one,
Yes, correct.
this is an event, input event. How you are having a
Oh, okay, okay, okay. By
it is a
default input event. Okay, fine.
input event.
Okay, got it.
On input, you have right.
So basically, events donates with parenthesis symbol,
Yes.
and attributes donates with square bracket symbol. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This is your attributes. This is your events. This is your models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this input events like in our JavaScript, like on text change, right?
Yes, on input change, on input click event, on input something like that, right? On click event, on click. So you
Press.
will remove on before and you will put input.
Okay.
Clear?
Hmm.
Rajini, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Vinay.
Yes, sir.
So let me reiterate what I did so that you will understand. I create a form tag. In that form tag, I have an h1 tag. I created a two div tags. In the one div tag, I created a label with the username, another input type equal to this. Okay. Similar way for the email. I did
Email.
that. And then I have a button. Now I'm going to apply a form tag CSS. How I did the form tag CSS is, if you go here, we discuss this one. First form tag is display flex. And then when you use a display flex, what will happen? If you go here, if you change into row, you see the difference. Everything in a row. So that the direction I'm making into column. Okay. And then the width is 30%. I'm going to make 40%. Somewhat it has a lookable. And then margin auto, why I am picking is, if I'm not using this, what will happen? You see where the form is available, ma. Center line. Say sir, no. Form will be in central line or not?
Yeah.
Not central line.
Yeah.
It's not in the center body of the screen. To make the center body of the screen, you have to use this. Now it got it.
Oh.
And then you go border. I'm setting the border of this, and I'm going to set the border radius. I'm going to set the box shadow and then margin top. Once this has been done, I want to make this header should be center aligned, so that I'm using h1 tag and center align. And then I'm going to have the div between these two controls. For that, I'm going to use margin bottom 5 pixel, padding is 4 pixel. And then each label, I'm using a block. Okay, if I remove block, if I say inline, you see the difference. There is no space. Or I say inline block. There is a space. Or you got my point? And then margin
Yeah.
bottom 5 pixel. And the input, I'm making 90%. Whenever you enter a data of the data between, you see here, the data between the text box edges and the data will be, there is a space, right? Say, sir, let assume I'm making 0 pixel. You see, is it good?
No.
No. What I need to do?
5 pixel.
I'm making looks better, right? Say, sir.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Once you've done that, I'm making that input radius border. This edges will become a border radius. If I remove this, the edges is short.
Sure. Yeah. Calibration.
Edges is sharp. Is it a good? No, you need to make it as beautiful but decorator, so that I'm using like this. Clear my point?
And sir, like how to learn this terms like you have used flex and all.
Come again?
I mean, how to learn this terms like whatever you
For
are
that,
using for this.
you need to read my HTML classes.
Okay, okay,
They're in my YouTube.
okay.
I'll show you that where it is. If you go, you see in YouTube. ITAS Technologies. You go to playlist. In the playlist, you will have HTML, CSS. You see?
Hmm.
In this playlist, you go and read each and everything. I'll go one by one and apply.
Okay.
Okay, you can go and read this.
So
I'll take everything in a better way.
okay.
So finally, I built a website. Sorry, man. See, I'll make a website. Clear my point?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go through it one by one so that you will understand. I come up with all sort of HTML, CSS. Page design, mastering page design here. There is a page design we built it. Okay.
Okay, fine.
So you go through this, you will get everything. I built it most of the thing. Okay.
Okay.
You all understand, ma? Rajni?
Yes.
Rajni, do you
Yes,
understand?
yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, I am going to talk about only another concept. Only one concept which you can able to understand. Okay. Hey, Ranjit. Sorry, I think you got delayed.
Hi, sir. Yes.
Hi. Okay. Now, here, you go to run terminal, new terminal. I create a one more component, ng gc list values, something like this. See, I have a list underscore value component is created. Say, sir.
Yes.
List underscore value component created. Now, go, I will close everything. Okay. I come down. I go to my TS file. No, not this TS file, this TS file. I take this TSS file as a selector, copy this selector, go to my app component.ts. Where is my app component.ts? Sorry, app component.html here. I simply use here, paste. Now I got the list values works.
Hmm.
Now what I'm going to do in the list values HTML, I say div paragraph item 1. Like that, I'm going to have how many items? 4 items. Okay. I'm going to have how many items? 4 items. 3, 4. If you go to the HTML, you get the items. Say, sir, while
Yes.
rendering this in Angular, in the inspect element, when you go, each item, it is surrounded by a div or not. Listen carefully. You have a div element. Say, sir,
Yes.
you have
Yes.
a div element. But sir, I don't want to have a div element. Is there a way to display the same thing? If you normally display, it will not proper. So what you will do, ng-content. What tag you are using?
ng content.
ng-content. Copy this element, paste here. Now, if you go and see the rendering, element cannot have a content. Why? Sorry, ng content. What ra?
Is it container?
Oh, sorry. It is a container.
Yes.
Who read this? It is not a ng content. It is a ng
It's a
container.
container.
Okay. Now you see, you got the same elements. Say sub.
Yes.
Now, if you go to the DOM structure, without a div element, it is rendering. Say sub. Kishore,
Yes.
Vinay, Rajni, Arjit, everybody. Say sub, Sachin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clear my point? So like that, you using the ng container, you can validate and refer. Using ng container, you can validate and refer. Or you got my point?
Yes.
Yes or no form? Say sir. ng container, if you want to wrap the element within the container, any element in a DOM content, the best way to do. So
Okay.
you unnecessarily don't want to send the div element or not.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Say yes or no.
Yes.
Vinay,
Yes.
Kishore, Rajni, Ranjit,
Sir.
and Sachin, Archit. You understand what is the purpose of NG container?
So only this is the purpose, like to avoid extra DOM element.
You can use NG for NG if based on the NG container also.
Okay, fine.
Okay. You can use NG for NG if based on the NG container also. Or you got my point? So I will build certain examples by Monday. What type of environment is I'm planning to build a portfolio builder. Okay.
Mhm.
So based on the portfolio builder, I can make a logic with the help of NG container. Clear my point?
Yes.
So that's how you can able to understand the property clearly. Clear my point?
Yes.
Everybody clear or not?
Mr.
Okay. Because
Hmm.
if I talk about NG container, I need to talk about NG template together. Okay.
Hmm.
So that will be the best. Okay. Now, let's do another example. At least I can bind data dynamically in the NG container. Okay. In the value element, how to create an array? Can anyone tell me how to create an array? Subject
Yes, subject equal to, and then square bracket.
here,
Yeah.
I can use subject code. Subject is my array. Here I can use subject code colon 101 comma name equal to name colon I say ASP.NET code. Okay. What is the subject I given? ASP.NET
Yes,
code.
code.
And then comma I'm going to add another subject. Listen carefully. I'm going to add another subject. I'm going to add another subject. In this subject 103, I can say microservices. What services?
Microservice.
Microservices with respect to .NET.
.NET.
Now go back here. I can say here 2. I say here Angular 16 and
Yeah.
17. Angular 16 and 17. Clear my point?
Yes.
Now, I want to iterate this value put it in my list component. How to do that? I said div. Here, star ng for equal to let sub of array type.
Yes, subjects.
Subjects.
To copy this subjects. And in the paragraph, I can say subject
Dot.
code is. What you will use?
Sub dot
Mhm.
Sub dot
name.
what name?
Subcode.
Subcode.
Subcode and name.
Dot subcode. Okay.
Hmm.
And I can append here itself.
Yes.
And subject name is I can say sub dot name property. Right? Now you
Yes.
see, did you mean name? So you go to take this name.
Oh,
You got the data?
Yes.
Sir, can I use instead of div? See, if you go here, go to inspect element, click on this element, you see this list will contain every time it is creating a separate div. See,
Yes.
sir,
Yes.
Yes.
when I looping, it is creating n number of divs, right? Is it a good practice or bad practice? Building this many
Bad.
divs is required?
No.
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 No. What to do?
NG container.
Absolutely correct. So how to write it? Here, you simply say
Okay,
NG
continue.
hyphen container. Clear?
Hmm.
Copy this, paste. Now, if you go, the same thing will happen. If you go here, you see
Only the paragraph. No.
Only the paragraphs.
same is happening or not?
Hmm.
That is called NG container. Any questions? Any questions?
No.
No.
Hmm? Any questions, ma? Anybody have any
No.
questions? And one more thing, sir, I want to build a subject code is null. No need to do. Again, I have to go for a div and all. I don't want to do that. NG container concept, you understand, right?
Yes.
This is how it works. Clear my point?
Sir, in yesterday class, you were trying to do something index related. Same for this ng for loop.
Yesterday's class, I never did anything. What I did?
With
No,
this
sir.
ng for directive, you were trying to get some index number or something like that.
Yeah. The
Yes.
day before yesterday, you were trying to put the index. It was not working.
Then you said, okay, you will
In the for NG for index.
ng for, yeah, correct, ng for directive.
See, that I'm not able to done, man.
Okay, fine.
Let's go and see NG for index option. Shall we take this example?
Yeah.
I'll come all these things. There are a lot of other things. We'll discuss it later. See, this is
Sure,
a
definitely.
Index as I.
see, simply you have to take this. Okay. Where is that list value? Go here. Put it and
Index
say I. Index. No, it should be I. You got it?
Yeah.
You got the numbers? 0, first, second, 2.
Okay. So, yeah.
This is how you have to manipulate. That is the reason you want an index of.
Hmm.
Clear my point?
Got it.
Kishore Patil. You understand, Kishore?
Sir, I need to go through the previous videos also. I'm confused here.
Confused?
Yeah, actually, I late joined. Na?
Okay.
I will go through the video.
Ranjit, you understand? Ranjit,
Yeah.
Rajni.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Monday, I'm going for ng template, ng container, so that whenever there is an ng template without a container, how we can display, we'll discuss that Monday with a real-time example. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anybody have any other questions? Feel free to ask. Anybody have any questions?
No, sir, at this moment.
No.
Arjit, if you are free, can you call me 2 minutes, please, if you don't mind? Arjit,
Yes.
if possible, can you call me 2 minutes, please?